Well, the world of gaming is always shifting and changing. This last little while, we've seen something like 7,000 people get laid off in the gaming industry. Multiple layoffs across the board, not just in video games, but in gaming in general. But now it's posing other questions. Sony posting that they lost $10 billion in 2023 in the last little while. Hasbro losing over $1 billion in their gaming space. But today we're going to focus on the gaming or the console side of things with Sony, Nintendo, and the Xbox. Where are they going from here? Now, I have an article here from GameIndustry.biz. This is a site that I go to every once in a while. Before we fully get into the video, subscribe to the channel. If you like opinion pieces, if you like takes on just what's going on in the gaming world, this is the channel for you. There's something here generally for everyone. And every day I post something different out there in the news. Now, this one in particular is an opinion piece on how PC gaming or PC console is dying. Going into the ideas here, you have the PlayStation PS5 Pro that's being rumored going to release this fall. You have the Nintendo Switch 2 also being rumored, now being rumored delayed to 2025. These are all things that are kind of getting made up there in the world. Now, at some point, there's a little bit of truth to a little bit of it, but not all of it is relevant. This one in particular is talking about as Microsoft and Sony target PC and mobile to grow their audiences, what does this mean for the future of consoles? Well, I can tell you right now, consoles are, they're always one step ahead of the curve when it comes to hardware. And then once you have a console, the main difference with the console is it's one piece. You have one piece that's got the same hardware in every single console. And that modular part of that console makes it a very predictable future when it comes to the video games that can be released on it. We're seeing what looks like 4K video games. The amazing video games that we're seeing, if you go and look at the Indiana Jones trailer, you can see the details, the pores on Indy's skin. But then there's who's doing the game behind it, and then what they're injecting for their own political beliefs has kind of ruined it. But when you step back and actually look at gaming as a whole, these consoles are integral to everything. If you're running a gaming PC like I do here for the channel, I use this for just gaming and editing and making these videos. At some point, I think I got to step forward and create one for gaming and one for recording, because it just creates a better dynamic and you can do more editing and you can do more things with it overall. That's for me. But when it comes to a gaming console like the Switch or the PlayStation or the Xbox, they're integral parts of gaming. They are the backbone of the industry, and everything focusing on PC gaming, well, you've got NVIDIA stocks going through the roof. You've got everything else out there. But what are they saying in this one here? If you've been in the business for more than 15 years, you've probably heard a sentence like this before. In the early 2000s, it was PC gaming was dying. Consoles were booming, privacy was putting off publishers, and the same old games were topping the charts. Forget PCs, it was all about PlayStation. Well, when I look at the PlayStation, one of the reasons why I don't dive into the PlayStation as a console is because it's a single-player game. It's a single-player console. Everything on the PlayStation for a very long time has been focused on the single player. Yes, they have fighting games. They do have some cooperative games on the PlayStation with split screens and all these other things, or online play, but it always has been for the individual user, where the Nintendo Switch has been, how does it fit into the home? Where does it fit? The original Nintendo Entertainment System was the device to sit there in your home. Something that was good to look at, something that everyone recognized, and something that you could play with other friends and family members and grow up with. And then came along the Wii, which was a big party machine, and continuing that aspect. And that's why Nintendo is doing so well, why they're one of the number one industry standards of Japan's gaming world, or companies, top companies out there. And then now you have Microsoft with the Xbox. The one thing I've always said about the Xbox is, why do I need an Xbox when I have a PC? Most games for the Xbox will always be on PC, and look at where their Game Pass is now. They offer most of their games on PC anyway through Game Pass, and that is kind of ringing true. So the one thing with the Xbox, once again, they can create this cookie cutter that they can sell across the board to someone that doesn't get an overpowered PC. And that's the main difference when it comes down to the consoles, is the price point is a lot more affordable, but then the games are also becoming so much more. I believe there's a catalyst coming, just because of storage space and because of the massive size of these games and the amount of content people want to have. Having a game where you spend 100 hours in the game is just too much. It's becoming too much. You don't get to move on and have that sense of enjoyment and nostalgia if you ever return to that title. You lose it. You completely lose it. You get enthralled. It becomes an obsession, and then you can't move on and revisit that. Anyway, more about what they're saying. Then Steam came along and their indie scene, and well, let's just say nobody is predicting the end of PCs anymore. Then, about 8 years ago, handheld gaming was dying. PC Vita had flopped. The Nintendo 3DS sold half of what its predecessor managed, and smartphone games were dominant form of gaming globally. Smartphone games are not really gaming. They're there to pass the time. You're going to sit there in Candy Crush. You're going to get your 3 lines. You're going to do the stackables. It's just a microtransaction nightmare for smartphones, and because we have these things on us all the time, you know what? On my phone, I don't have a single mobile game on it now. I use my phone for social media. I use my phone to do things for the channel, and I use it to have contact with my family. I don't sit there and play games on my phone anymore, period. I've just stopped downloading them all, and I said, forget it, no way. Forget handhelds, it was all about the iPhone. Then the Switch came along and created a popular product that sat somewhere between consoles and mobile, and well, let's just say nobody is predicting the end of handhelds anymore. Well, that's the main difference with the Switch. They made it this modular where you can put it down, you can pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But because the Switch is far behind in the hardware aspect for the size of the games, for the games that you can get out there, something like The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom is probably the pinnacle types of graphics you're going to see on the Switch. They have Hogwarts Legacy now on the Switch, but also with the Switch, you've seen many other things out there like Mortal Kombat. You see the downgrade in the graphics for it. But are you using the Switch to really play Mortal Kombat? Is that something that you're playing on the Switch? I don't think so. You're more playing things like Tears of the Kingdom. You're more playing things like Mario Party, golf. You're doing this as an all-around gaming console, something that's party. So honestly, when it comes down to the downgrade for like Mortal Kombat, I'm fine with that because it's not the type of system that's meant for that, where the PlayStation and the Xbox more were. Things are a little different this time. There's compelling data to show that the console market is slowing down. Both the Xbox and PlayStation spent much of last week talking about their multi-platform strategies. In fact, it's been a bad week for fans of the box under the TV. On Wednesday last week, Sony revealed that it missed its target of shipping 25 million PS5 consoles in the financial year of 4 million at least. That means that the PS5, which is now fully supplied, is trending behind the PlayStation 4. I believe the PS5 came out too early. I believe the PS4 never got to see its day in the sun when it came to the console wars. The PS4 never got to a point where it kind of was sunsetted. They did this bridging and rushed the PS5 out there because the next generation with the Xbox was already upon us. Now, if Sony took a step back and let the PS4 actually run its time out, you wouldn't be seeing this stuff like you are today, where the PS5, Sony now believing it's at the end of its lifespan already. It's nowhere close to it. And that's why there's talk about the PS5 Pro, where it's just slightly upgraded hardware, slightly upgraded things that are going to come out. But ultimately, I believe the PS4 and the PS5, they prematurely brought out the PS5. They rushed it to market. They never had the product on market. Scalpers got a hold of the PS5, and the numbers on the market went through the roof in the middle of a pandemic that completely destroyed the industry standards that we see today. Now we're seeing the reflections of that with the massive layoffs, and unfortunately the PS5 is going to slow down because it was rushed out there in the first place. And I believe the PS5 Pro, if the rumors are true, will actually come back to terms with the PS5 being something that's going to be good on the market in the long run. In the financial Q&A that followed, COO and the CEO talked about how releasing more PS5 games on PC was part of an aggressive plan to grow margins. Sony has always had this whole negativity against exclusive games from Xbox for Nintendo. They want their games to be able to be released on the Sony. But then Sony had always turned around and said, well, these games are going to be exclusive for us only. You're not allowed to have it. They've always tried to have this stranglehold on it, but that has backfired on them massively. And that's where now you see companies like Steam, which has a $9 billion marketplace. Overall, you see a lot of Steam games getting more recognition. Look at Palworld for particular. They came out on Steam, and then Xbox walked in, or Microsoft walked in and said, we're going to host this on Game Pass, and now you see the two interchangeable. Look at Starfield. Starfield is interchangeable between the Xbox and the PC, where you can do mods between the two and shift your game back and forth. They're working in tandem with that PC, but that's always been the case with Microsoft. Microsoft has been embedded in the PC. A PC is more of an Xbox than an Xbox is a PC, and that's where we're looking at that in particular. Then the very next day, Xbox much anticipated business update confirmed that some of the games were coming to PS5. The company still went to great lengths to remind everyone that it's not about the walk away from hardware and key titles remain exclusive to Xbox and PC, but its strategy has long been about going beyond the box. And last week was further move along just that. The numbers speak for themselves. If we look at install base figures, we can see the console business really hasn't grown in 20 years. Just under 180 million PS2 and Xbox consoles were sold during that generation. That dropped slightly over 170 million during the PS3 and 360 era. And then we're back up to around 180 million for PS4 and Xbox One. The mid-cycle upgrades helped. And that's where they came out with the Pro versions of like the PS4 and the Xbox. And I think that's where everyone's going to be headed here. Is you're going to see the Switch 2 is just going to be a Pro version of the OLED Switch if it does come out to the market in 2025. The PlayStation Pro, or the PS5 Pro, is just going to be an upgraded version of the PS5. You're not going to see this big market shift like we've seen in the last little bit, where hardware is propelling the video games to try and catch up to them. Look at NVIDIA right now. They have skyrocketed with the use of AI, with Bitcoin, with everything else out there on the market. They've gone through the roof, and it's absolutely gigantic where they are. Video cards are starting to slowly come down. Hardware is maintaining ahead of the pace, and software is starting to catch up very, very slowly. I think the gaming world in general is going to be a massive boom very, very soon. Like the boom that we see right now, or the boom bust that we're seeing right now, where everyone came on board and now they're doing all these layoffs, you're going to see a lot more companies spring up, and you're going to see everyone that were in those industries, that have experience in those industries, you're going to see them get picked up by a lot of indie developers. You're going to see a big shift, I think, in that sense. And the budgets that these companies are promoting for AAA games are just so far out to lunch, they're going to be falling flat on their face, where the indie developer or these smaller game studios are going to be picked up very well. And that's where Microsoft is probably going to step in and do very well, because they're already about supporting it. Look at their Game Pass. They're already putting money towards people for servers, for Game Pass. This is one of the reasons why Palworld has been able to maintain where they are. Yeah, they're losing their player base right now, but this is also an early access title. People want to see more with Palworld. The second Palworld has an update for it, you're going to see another boom in that game. Anyway, I'm your Proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm going to sign off here because I've already rambled on long enough for this video. It's a very interesting topic. Let me know what you think down below. Where are consoles going from now to the next few years? Are they going to just die out, or are they going to be the forefront still for the gaming aspect? I've been your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.